Hello everybody, in today's video I'm going to be going through my mains. Now I've got a lot of Speedcubes and I've had my hands on pretty much all of them because companies send them to me and stuff, and I've really had time to play around with them and I've come to a really good decision on which ones are my mains. Now not all of them are the best cubes on the market, but it is the best for me, and I'm going to explain why on each of the examples. So this one here is a WIT 2 version 1. Now I've tried the Diane and I've got the Lingpo and all that kind of stuff too, and as good of cubes as they are, they just don't get me as good of times as the version 1. Now I'm not the fastest speed cuber out there, obviously, and so I'm not going to use the fastest speed cube out there because the Diane 2x2 is just a little bit too fast for me and I have a hard time controlling it. I tend to overshoot a lot of the time, and I think that when you're at a really fast turning speed with 2x2 and you're turning and you overshoot, because your turning speed, turns per second is so fast that you're not going to overshoot because you're going to make your next turn before you get there. Now, I'm not a super fast 2x2 solver, so I that's a guess of mine from what I've seen from other people. Now, this one here has a stickerless core in it. And the reason it has a stickerless core in it is because I had a stickerless 2x2 WIT 2 version 1, and it just seemed to move a lot better. Now, it doesn't have the same kind of effect like the stickerless Zanchi did compared to a black stickered one, where it just seems to be a bit smoother. With the 2x2, it didn't really have that, and besides, the core is locked to a corner, so we're not really going to get that feeling anyways. The reason it has this is because I used the stickerless one so long that the core is really well broken in. So what I did is I took the caps off a black one and I put it on a stickerless one. And that's why I have a stickerless core inside of my black 2x2. And it works really, really well for me. So it basically moves around the same speed that I move at. That's why it's my main. And a stickerless core is competition legal. I did this actually at a competition. I put it together, and the WCA delegate there said that it's legal because I can't cheat anyway by looking at the core. So anyways, that's my 2x2. Now my 3x3 is the Gans 3. Now this is a version 1. Version 2 is coming out. It's barely modified at all, but it should turn better. Anyways, at first I didn't really like this cube, and then I really, really loved the cube. And the reason is for the same reason as the 2x2, is because once I started getting used to it, it really matches my turns per second. It really matches my speed. And as a result, I get, really decent times with it. It can lock up here and there. Now, I've learned to control it so it doesn't really pop on me, but if it does pop, it does kind of explode a little bit, but it's so rare that it does that it doesn't really affect anything. So it's a really, really good cube for me. I've got all my PBs, for averages on this, and the same with the 2x2 as well. This one has gotten me all of my PBs. So this is a really good cube for me. It's not the fastest. It's not the best at corner cutting out there. As you can see, it will barely cut 45 degrees. You really got to force it. Of course, I use a bit of tighter tensions to improve my accuracy, but overall, this thing is just, it works well for me. I don't need the fastest, the best cube out there, because really all it's going to do is kind of slow me down. Now, a lot of people will disagree with that, say, use the one that your target cube, and just kind of practice at that. That way, when you get to that speed, being able to control it better, you'll have a really good understanding of the cube. I think that differs from person to person, and for me, it's it's not like that. So this is the one for me, the Gans 3. Now the 4x4 is the Moyu Weisu. This one is better than the Shengsha out of the box. It does have some popping issues though, and pretty much every review I've seen on it talks about the popping issue that I had mentioned in my first couple of videos with that little inner piece coming out. Sometimes this one and this one will come out, or this one and this one, but not very often. I've never had it explode. I've never had it fall apart. So yeah, it's just, I've broken my PBs for average of 5 and average of 12, but not my single. I think my single is just kind of a lucky solve. And actually, I've got a couple of really lucky singles. Anyways, so this one is really, really nice. I've got reviews on that, but this is the one that I'm using now. I don't think it requires any modifications whatsoever. Overall, it's just a really good cube. Handles algorithms pretty well. I just got to learn to control 4x4 better. All right, so 5x5. This is a Shengsha unmodded 5x5, and I told you I'd show you the Crazy Bad Cuber logo on this, and you can see it. This is what it looks like on a 5x5, and it's fairly small, next to my thumbnail. But I really enjoy this cube. I would like to mod it. In fact, I think I should just get another one and mod it so I can compare the two or something. It's quite a lengthy process to mod one of these things. And I'm not really into 5x5, but I think if I had a really good 5x5, you know, that I would probably get into it. But it corner cuts. I mean, I've adjusted it and lubed it and tensioned it and all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely not as good as somebody else's. Like I've tried Kevin Hayes 5x5 at a competition just to try it out, and it was amazing. It was really, really good. But yeah, so that's my 5x5 main. My 6x6. Now you guys haven't really seen this on my channel. I haven't showed it. Now this is a 6x6 Shengshou modded by Algorithmist, or aka Algo. She did a great job on modding this. Now I'm just not really into 6x6. And when I got it, it felt really, really slow and really sluggish, and it still kind of does. And I took it out because I know she uses a certain type of lube, and maybe it just doesn't work for everybody. But I took the whole thing apart, and I wiped it all down, and I put it back together, and I didn't re-lube it because there was still a lot of lube on the pieces. So, but it's still pretty slow. And after talking with Kevin Hayes, actually, on at a competition, and he was telling me about how he got his 6x6 to be really, really good to do a 140 single solve, which is crazy. I saw that in front of me. And I tried his cube. It's amazing. His Shengshou 6x6 is great, and all he did was do 1,000 solves on it. It just takes a lot of time to break in, and unfortunately, I am not really into 6x6 enough to do 1,000 solves and break it in. However, maybe in the future when I have done 1,000 solves on this thing and it's better, I can re-review it or something like that. But as far as the mod, she did a great job on this. This is, I mean, I've never seen another one to compare it to, but I mean, I've modded some 4x4s before too, and I did a pretty good job on my Shengshou version 5, and this is very, very good. She's very, very good at doing it. For 7x7 now is also the Shengshou. This is basically most Speedcubers 7x7, and I'm not good at 7x7 at all. I hardly ever speed solve this, but when I do speed solve it, this is what I use. It's a bit smaller than the bigger version. I got a little bit of a sticker ripple. Anyways, I think it's a really good cube. And a lot of the faster Speedcubers, again, you know, like Kevin Hayes, told me that the bigger one just wasn't really motivating to solve on because it was so big. But this one is pretty small compared to it. I mean, it's just a tad bit bigger than the 6x6. Anyways, guys, so those are the mains that I use. Wit 2, Gans 3, Moyu, Shengshou, Shengshou, Shengshou. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.